Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking about 1976 $2 bills. Now these are really cool because they're also bicentennial, 200 years after America's independence in 1776. They're pretty common though, but there are a few that are worth a ton of money. So I want to basically guide you through, if you have a 1976 $2 bill, what to look for, to understand that most of these probably are not super rare, but you still want to know if you have the good ones, and then sort of also go through some of the fancy serial numbers and some of the minor characteristics to be checking out. So I've got a PowerPoint presentation. We'll head to that right now and get started with this video. And like I mentioned, we'll be going over the conditional rarities, then star notes, complete packs, serial numbers, and errors. So first, just to know that, maybe you could say it's $3 for regular circulated ones. I would probably say that it's really going to be just $2. It's more the star notes that are going to be valuable, but these give a good overview. So there are some, in a graded 69 that are going to be $1,200 to $2,000, depending on if there's a star note or not. For example, this one was a little bit worn, but it was the Minneapolis key date, so they're not key date, it's more the key Federal Reserve Bank, but that's going to be a little bit better with the star note right here. But that replacement note, again, going to mean that they had to, it might have been I00531825A, and then they had to replace it, so they use a star to denote that. But again, it's not like there are massive value on a lot of the regular ones, but even like this, it's a nice crisp uncirculated one. This one's from a regular Federal Bank of New York and Federal Reserve Bank, and it sold for $35, so it's not a huge number by any means. But then right here, if you have an original pack of 100 notes, these are going to be crisp, uncirculated, and consecutive, so the next serial number will be 02. That sold for about double face value, $370, so don't break it apart if you have an original strap. Then if you have an original strap of star notes, that's where it gets seriously rare. There were 100 here, so each one of these is selling for $152. And again, that's from Minneapolis, so the better bank, the better key date. So just something interesting on those. Now there are some ones where they'll be worth a ton of money. This one was $18,000. The doubled overprint, it's a third printing when they put the Federal Reserve Bank and the serial numbers and this seal, the Treasury seal, and they doubled that up. This one sold for $18,000, and there's multiple different ones with different serial numbers that you should definitely be looking for. Here they flipped it. That sold recently for $2,760. So they must have put in the sheets upside down and somehow it escaped the mint or the printing presses. And then here again is a double impression, but that's, I think, on the first printing, I want to say, because here you can see it's very clear on the Federal Reserve seal, Treasury seal, and it's more that obverse side, $34.50. That's a lot of money. Here we've got a blank reverse, and so if you ever find a bill and it seems like one of the sides has nothing on it, it's probably actually pretty good, assuming that it's not fake. This one sold for $4,000 very recently and wasn't even in particularly good uncirculated shape, but whenever you get a strap of bills from the bank, there's a lot to look for. Here is another reminder that they did have more than one doubled overprint, and I don't think all of them are accounted for, so presumably there's a few out there. This one sold for $16,800, so again, strong price history on them. And then here we have a retained obstruction note. Basically, this stock scrap of paper was placed over the bill and somehow received the impression of the Federal Reserve seal and sold for $6,300. This next really interesting pair of notes reminds us to look for fancy serial numbers, and this one is consecutive, but we've got, what is that, 7 million, or is that 7 million? Yeah, 7,999,999, and then 8 million. So that back-to-back, that's going to sell for 110 per note, and that one even has a little bit of a tear up top. Right here, we've got a radar note, and this sold for $660. I mean, I think that's a pretty high price, but it shows that people really are paying for the radar. It's a little bit better of a radar because the zeros and eights, but another just interesting thing there. Here we've got a repeater where we've got 0036036, sold for $190. So again, it's not like it's not a crazy, and I think that it also probably incorporated the Minnesota star note, but still something cool to look for. This one was just 200, 200, two number, fancy serial number, $130. So again, good reminder, if you can get though some of the really low serial numbers like this one, this sold for $9,400, and I think that makes sense. But right, anything, it'll get incrementally better, whether it's in the thousands, then the hundreds, then the tens, and in the single digits. That's where it gets super expensive. This one only sold for $50 and it was $730, but still, I mean, that's 25 times the face value. This one was a first star note that sold for $35,250. I mean, I think that that's a little bit crazy, but again, that's sort of what people are paying. So it's a great reminder, again, to look at all of your notes to see if you've got these low serial numbers when the thousands place, and again, Minneapolis sells for 65. To have this one sell for 35,000 seems like a massive, massive number, but a great reminder that there are some good notes out there, and you should always be checking them to see if you have something special. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to visit our website, treasuretown.com, to stay up to date on everything going on the channel and possibly get some great deals on coins and collectibles. We look forward to seeing you on our future videos, and best wishes until then.